Do you think it also works the same with the animal that we do want to help and the animal that's, say, right in front of us in the butcher shop that has gone through something very terrible that we don't want to help, but yet actually we pay for it to happen?
We evolved from eating meat, so I think it's okay to eat an animal if it dies of natural causes. It's like the animals wanted to give us protein, make us strong. I don't want to be hurt because this stuff hurts me when I see it. These are things that I don't want to know. Why are you trying to scar me, my heart like this? There's villains, and villains make money, and villains will not tell you their villainous ways. They're just not aware. They're just not aware.
And being aware, what do you think you can do about it? Hi everyone, this is Sheena, and today I'm here with Joseph. I ran into Joseph on the street, and I asked him if he wanted to talk about animals, and he shared a very funny story about a cat.
Cat in a tree.
Cat in a tree, and
the bear down the mountain.
You seem to be an animal lover. You said you like animals and you're scared of animals.
I like hanging out at the dog park. I like watching the dogs interact. I like how they greet each other. I love dogs. I want to have a dog family one day and do that. But there's a fear there. There was.
I think we have a natural fear sometimes of different animals, dogs especially. Growing up, if you have even a little bit of a bad experience or a negative experience with a dog, and you mentioned, we are not their species, they are not our species. Having a natural kind of caution is I think, kind of healthy. And then trying to help where we can, where a dog clearly has been,
Because, it is like, you can say it's the owner thing. Like, a lot of dogs aren't going to get snapped. But you grab their food, they're going to bite you. That's just the animal, right? So.
And when you were saying before about you were telling me a really interesting story about the cat that was stuck up in a tree, and that, people came and they thought, oh, something's wrong with this cat. We must help. We must try to get the cat down. One person came, 2 people came, 3 people came, 4 people, firefighters came. Is this cat okay? Let's get the cat down. Turns out the cat was fine. The cat ended up falling out of the tree and ran away, and everybody clapped. And then what I was saying is that, it's amazing how when we see an animal in distress, how we all want to help. Yeah. Do you think it's easier for humans to want to help an animal when we see them in distress? And do you think there's plenty of animals that we don't see that are in distress that we just turn a blind eye to?
Well, the human animal seems like people a lot of turn a blind eye to that. I've noticed that people would. It's about normalizing, right? So when you see a human being on the side of the road and you walk by that and you're desensitized, like, well, that's just there. Then you see a squirrel, say, with a broken leg, and you take your time, right? So it's about time. So the cat with the tree was interesting because everyone took their time to stop. So time is more valuable than anything. You got people out walking their dog, whatever, they got to get back, whatever. But everyone stopped to make sure the animal is okay. Right, but we've now become normalized to watching the human on the side of the road who's probably in distress is like an animal as well, but we don't give that as much value almost.
Why do you think that is?
There's a lot that for me it's a participation thing. All right, a lot of people see the person on the side of the road not wanting to participate, so they think, why should I worry about them if they don't want to worry about themselves, right? But a lot of that is, again, it's a participation thing, in my opinion. Like the animal itself is like, it's helpless. Like it depends on us for food. If we don't feed it, it's going to go hunt, but it can't hunt.
Do you think it also works the same with the animal that we do want to help and the animal that's, say, right in front of us in the butcher shop that has gone through something very terrible that we don't want to help, but yet actually we pay for it to happen?
I stopped eating meat for about a year and a half, and I'm still very cautious of what kind of protein I eat. And I don't call it meat anymore, I call it protein. And if I have to eat an animal, I give thanks for the animal's life and whatever it went through to give me this protein, because I'm aware of the process of how that animal was treated to get to where it is, right? So
why do you not call it meat anymore? Why do you call it protein?
It makes me realize that my body needs protein. My body needs a certain amount of protein. When I did not eat protein for a year and a half, I didn't notice that I was feeling different. I just that I didn't feel much different at all, to be honest with you. It's just that the options were limited. Like I ate a lot of pizza. You know what I mean? Like so my body got used to just eating the same thing over and over again, which I don't think was healthy for it in a certain way, right? It was too regular. So I started eating different proteins, more meat again, because my chewing as well. So my chewing, like when we chew, it's like our jaw it works in a certain way. Ray, it helps keep your face strong muscle, like a certain chew, and there's been a correlation where like grinding your thing helps with. I want to say activate intelligence, but it's a good hack. You know what I mean? To keep certain neurons bouncing around.
Chewing's a huge part of releasing the nutrients from the food. Also from satiating yourself. For satiety, we need to chew. If we like drink all our foods in a juice form or smoothie form, you don't really feel full. We need to chew to feel full. We need to chew to feel satisfied. Do you think you can get enough protein from plants?
Now, if I took off my shirt, you would see that I'm like completely ripped of muscle. So the protein I need has to be like a strong protein. Like before I started eating, I tried to eat more beans and stuff like that, which just led to more different gases in my belly, right? So it's like
with beans, if you start off slowly and kind of increase incrementally, gas is normal. You're meant to have gas, right? It's meant to have gas. You can, there's plenty of plant-based bodybuilders, weightlifters. I think one of the strongest men in the world, Patrick Baboumian, is a vegan athlete. Levi Delgado. There's a film, The Game Changers. Have you seen that film? It's all about plant-based athletes and bodybuilders.
Plant-based is there's the distrust level on source, I believe, for the common consumer now, right? Like, I think that if people, there's a certain speech by a certain person, I don't know his name, but it's a very popular speech that I heard in Vancouver. I heard a man just reading it on the library steps. Now, everyone ran away from him. And I was just like, well, I guess I'll be the polite Canadian guy and sit around and listen. And then he kept on talking, and he kept on making more and more sense about the process of our proteins and our meats and how the animals are treated and this and that, and how we're like, lions eat meat because their intestines are this big and it passes through fast, where us, it lives in us for a bit, decays. It's to a certain extent, how much do you want decay in you, right? So
they have a long, digestive tract, which is very indicative of a, omnivorous or herbivorous animal. We have different digestive enzymes in our stomach and in our mouths that are very indicative of omnivorous or more herbivorous animals. We don't have canines, like a lion and all that does. And so after you heard that speech, how did you feel and what did you do?
Well, a lot of it made sense, obviously. It's the wear and tear on our bodies is real. So, I mean, yeah, we evolved from eating meat, but we also only lived X amount of decades. You know what I mean? So by processing those proteins through our body, it put wear and tear on our body, chewing, right?
In the time of need, when we had to eat animals, we did. And, it's argument whether the meat made us evolved or the carbohydrates or the starches and the glucose made us evolved, as a little bit of both.
So it was a mushroom that took us to the next level of consciousness, right?
And today, do you think we need to eat animals to be healthy or survive?
I think there's a relationship. I think there's a relationship with the animal and the person. Like, if I ever had a cow, I would eat it, but it would die of natural causes. The cow would be X amount of years old, and then it's like, so I think it's okay to eat an animal if it dies of natural causes.
Yeah, that doesn't happen so much because we have to wonder, what is the cow dying of, and do we want to is it safe to ingest that cow as well? But if in the absence of necessity, right, we don't have to eat that animal. We can get all the protein we need from beans, tofu, tempeh, nuts, seeds, more so beans.
Yeah, of course there's alternatives to it, but there's a there's a blood memory in us too, right? So we have our ancestors in us who were hunters and gatherers at both, right? So the meat part, it's like a process. You're right. We don't need it. There's alternatives, but generational wise, you can't start like making factory meat because you're almost bastardizing the beautifulness of an animal, right? So we cut down trees because trees got us boats, which helped us explore. The trees wanted us to cut them down because it wanted to help us evolve, right? It's like the animals wanted to give us protein, make us strong, use them for travel, our stuff like that. We're all here together. We're a process.
I would question the fact whether they want us to breed them into existence, to slaughter them, to eat them.
I would say no. I would say no, but I would say they want to grow that to like, you know, to dwell. Like, part of the process us eating them is just something that we've always done.
Do you think because it's something we've always done, does that make it moral?
Well, my point of the always done is this. Again, it's something we don't always have to do. Okay, once these other options are out there and they're viable and
do you think we have those options now in Toronto? So just like here, right? We're here on Queen Street. There's 2 vegan restaurants within 5-minute walk that way. One of them is Fresh on Spadina. One of them is Parka. There's another one just opening up here, Il Vegano. And then there's another Fresh, another 15-minute walk that way. Do you think here in Toronto you would have enough options, especially around this area?
Fresh is hitting on a franchise sort of state. So yeah, I mean, Fresh itself, you could, but I mean, I haven't gone in because I haven't looked at the prices and stuff like that, right? So, for me though, right now is I have this craving for protein. So I'm like, there's that carnivore diet that people are talking about. Not to say that I'm on the carnivore diet at all, but
what animals do you eat mostly?
What I will do mostly. I mean,
do you eat beef, chicken, fish, eggs, milk?
My choice would be fish. If I had a chance to say, okay, what do you want? I would pick fish.
How about milk and eggs?
No, I'm indifferent about milk and eggs. But I would eat an egg sandwich. But I don't mind milk or eggs.
And like, if you were to get a coffee, would you just get cow's milk in it, or?
Black coffee. There's no need to put any sort of sugar or cream in coffee. Just start there.
Can I show you a video on the egg industry?
I don't want to be hurt. Because this stuff hurts me when I see it. Like, so I'm.
Yeah. Why do you think it?
Yeah. I've seen how they get crushed and their legs, and I know that on the grocery store, if you see a little bruising on a thigh, it's because the animal has been crushed by another animal while it's being farmed. And I think that's the wrong one.
Yeah, you know, when you buy the chickens, you mean? Yeah. When you buy the chicken in the shop, we bred them to become really big really quickly. Yeah. So they can't support their own weight. So you go into a chicken shed, whether it's free range or not. I think they have a huge rate that will die off ever before they get slaughter weight. And even at slaughter weight, do you know how old they are?
Not even a year. I don't.
1 month.
See that this is where we get to the humane approach, because now we've hit profit territory, right? Because you're making a creature, let's call it a living creature, in a time period like a Frankenstein thing. You're not treating it like a creation. It's a creation. Something creation has happened. We're treating it like it's a toy of some sort. Like it's to be manipulated.
Absolutely. You know, they're meeting the demand of the public when they keep them in those kind of conditions. 30,000 in a shed for the most part. They're meeting the customer's demands, right? It is all supply and demand. It is led by the consumer. They're likely not going to be producing them if there's no demand from the customer, right? Yeah.
Listen, the people are in charge. It's how it is. You can make a Big Mac. You can make the Big Mac every day. And if none of us buy the Big Mac, they'll throw it out in the garbage. But eventually they'll be like, we can't keep on throwing out the Big Mac. Right. So we can't make Big Macs no more.
Exactly. And that's kind of what's happening. I don't know, from when I was younger, of course there was the plant-based stuff like the beans and the lentils, which were amazing. Never thought of that. We had a tofurkey hot dog, in the 80s. But since then, so many more products available because of people that are buying stuff. Lactantia and Sudbury. Okay. Ontario just transitioned one of their dairy milk factories to plant-based because that's where the money is, right? They just go back.
Again, they can dump their stuff out and say, well, that one's selling, and they can see the data, right? So a lot of it is awareness too. So a lot of these chickens that they're doing, they're it's not a full chicken either. They're taking these parts and they're kind of adding a little bit of glue here, literally, like they're gluing the meat together, and then they're breading it up and calling it Popeye's chicken. You know what I mean? So these chicken breasts that you're getting, they're not even chicken breasts. They're like a Frankenstein creation of shit. Like,
can I show you a video on the dairy industry?
No, I had to go.
Fair enough.
I do have to go eventually, but
Okay, I'll tell you quickly. Same as the egg industry, because you do consume eggs, and you mentioned about dairy, although I know you said you would get the milk from your own cow. But let's say you're here and you want a sandwich and it's got cheese, or you want to go and get an egg sandwich. The males in the dairy industry and the egg industry, they're considered useless. So when a cow, do you know why a cow produces milk?
I really don't know exactly the reason why it actually does, but
Yeah, so cows are mammals, right? So they only produce milk once they've had a baby. So they're artificially inseminated. So they have to collect the semen from a bowl, insert it into the female. She carries her baby for 9 months. What happens to her baby when she's born?
these are things that I don't want to know. Why are you trying to scar me, my heart like this?
Do you think we should know things when we buy products?
You should know things, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, but it shouldn't be cutty coated. It should be like, no, we inseminate, and that's why the milk. It makes sense. Like I wasn't aware that. Yes, obviously the milk is for, as a mammal, is for the baby, right?
Know that either. For 40 years, I had no idea that a cow only produces milk once they've had a baby. I never ever even thought about it.
That was my first instinct to say, but I'm thinking like, they can't always be pregnant, can they? Or is
They're
that
perpetually, so if they're,
birth the calf?
of course they birth the calf. That's the way that their milk comes in. They even will keep the calf there. In India, they string up a dead calf so the mothers can see the calf, and it helps let down the milk. In the egg industry, it's the same. The boys are considered useless. They're put in a blender when they're 1 day old.
This information, I mean, is important because I think no one would buy it if they knew. Do you see how I was just physically like hurt by hearing that? Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's others like me that you know, that are affected by such knowledge. You know what I mean? Like, ignorance is bliss for me, and this is from my personal experience, right? Say it's like I hear all these vegetarian ingredients, but I don't know how to combine them. You know what I mean? So we got lentils and pine nuts, and then I'm like, what am I making here? You know what I mean? It's like, again, like,
It's good. Like, that's where, like, you know, Google comes in handy. You go, like, say you love spaghetti bolognese. You type in vegan spaghetti bolognese, and, you know, walnuts and lentils will come up, and it gives it such a beautiful, meaty taste. It's all there. It's all there. Yeah. Yeah.
and a lot of it's like grab on the go. The whole like burrito wrap works. It's there. It's got all your ingredients in there, and you go when you go. Right. So
So I want to circle back to our conversation in the beginning, just to finish off. You know, the animals that we see that are in distress, if we saw a squirrel here that had been hit by a car, we'd probably call wildlife services. You know, the cat that's in the tree that we want to come down safely. But the pig that goes to the gas chamber, or the chicken that's 1 month old when they're boiled alive in some cases, or the baby male chicks that are put in a blender when they're 1 day old, or the baby male cow that has a bolt gun put to their head simply for the fact that they're male and not profitable to the industry. Why do we turn a blind eye to that?
because there's villains, and villains make money, and villains will not tell you their villainous ways. So
Why do we buy those things when it's all that cruelty is
they're
involved?
just not aware. They're just not aware.
And being aware, what do you think you can do about it?
Listen, it's a choice we got here on Earth. All right. When I heard that man say that speech in Vancouver about animals, I could have said, okay, yeah, so what? But I ethically, in my being, I know right from wrong. Now I can do what I can to not participate, and I think that's all we can do is not participate as much as we can.
But that person that saw that speech and said that this is right from wrong, but yet you're still eating animals, do you think you would go back to that person again?
But I think with eating the animals, I try to find, like, so there's rural farms across the road there. Like, I assume that their animals aren't so antibiotical, whatever, processed in a way. But,
You know, a lot of times these regenerative, local, humane, those are terms to make us feel better. They mean nothing for the animal that's dying.
I'm aware of this. It's just, I don't believe in factory farming. I don't believe we should grow animals to slaughter.
Why don't you believe in factory farming?
It's not humane. It's not a human thing to do this. There's nothing beautiful.
But if something isn't humane, then why is it humane? Why is it humane to do it to one animal but not to 4,000?
Well, there's like blasphemy, right? There's like, there's people that don't believe that. There's people that believe that they're only here now, so it doesn't matter about later.
No, what I'm saying is if it's not okay to kill 4,000 of them, why is it okay to kill one of them? If it's done on a small scale.
At the whatever way one is wrong, right? Because it's the animal's life.
We'll probably cut it there. I know you said you don't have long. Have any questions for me?
No. Oh, yeah.
Oh, this is for, it's really to raise awareness. You know, we all say we're animal lovers, which I did too. Actions, right? Because how can we truly be animal lovers when we buy, say, meat, dairy, eggs, and fish, or watch animals for entertainment, or wear animals?
If you don't know, then you just think you're helping the animal by buying it and eating it, right? Like, you don't know. Like, what?
You know, we don't think about it. I think from when we're little, we're conditioned to not think about it. We're given these foods on our plate. In some way, we think that, okay, these are food animals. Those are ones we love. Those are pets. But in an animal's capacity to feel pain and suffer, we should know that they're all the same, but we don't think about it.
It's not even talked about. That's the problem. You got to talk about it. People don't know that the way they eat their meat, the way they consume is a part of them as well, right? Like, listen, if you eat something from the sunshine, you're getting all the nutrients from the sunshine into you. You know what I mean? When you eat something that has been scared to death and terrified, it captures that in there. Like, that's just a logical think about it. Like, really think about it.
Okay, I think we'll probably cut it there. I just want to leave you with one question. If you could live in a world where you harmed humans, harmed animals, or neither, which world would you rather live in?
Well, the neither one, right?
Do you think being vegan would be more in line with the goal of harming neither?
I think the vegan push at the beginning was possibly didn't give full information, so it's turned some people off on it. So all you got to do is give the proper information on out. There's a whole generation now that's been vegan. You can see through their actions. You look amazing. You look healthy. You look happy. You know what I mean? You're glowing here. You know what I mean? You got a healthy looking skin. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you could just it's a show and tell world, right? You say, listen, this is us. This is how we do it. Look at us.
If I was to give you some resources that might help you along to get back to you going vegan, would you be willing to take them?
Yeah, I'll take some. I'll take whatever information I can get, obviously. Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much. Yeah, that was really good. Thanks very much. Nice to meet you.